You played by their rules. You were kind, honest, and patient. And look at you, exhausted, bypassed, and forgotten. While you slept in the comfort of your morals, the real players rewrote the map. Being good isn't a virtue, it's a target on your back. You aren't losing because you lack talent. You're losing because you're predictable. Let's look at the strings. Look at the screen. What do you see? The world rewards the brand, not the soul. Machiavelli understood this 5 centuries before the first server was turned on. In 2026, the mask is no longer made of silk. It is made of data. It is your digital halo. Rule 1. You must project an image of absolute virtue. You must appear merciful, faithful, and humane. Why? Because the masses are addicted to the feeling of moral superiority. If you give them a saint to worship, they will never look for the shadow you cast. This is not about being a liar. It is about building an architectural defense. When people believe you are good, they become blind to your maneuvers. They grant you the benefit of the doubt. They offer you their trust, the ultimate form of social leverage. In the hierarchy of 2026, your optics are your currency. If you fail to manage them, you are bankrupt before you even begin. Transparency is a trap designed for the naive. The honest man is a transparent man, and a transparent man is easily crushed. True dominance is built on the subtext of what remains unsaid. If you are truly good, you are predictable. And if you are predictable, you are nothing more than a resource for someone else's strategy. The master knows how to perform mercy. You forgive a small public mistake to secure a reputation for grace. You donate to the right causes. You use the right key words. You feed the algorithms exactly what they want to see. A virtuous leader. But inside the glass sanctum, you are calculating the ROI of that mercy. You are assessing if the person you forgave is a long-term liability or a temporary pawn. Real power is the ability to do what is necessary while the world thanks you for your kindness. Stop being a character in someone else's drama. Most people are terrified of being the villain in a story they don't even own. They would rather lose with a clean conscience than win with a dirty hand. That is not virtue. That is a failure of will. A strategist is never mean. A strategist is surgical. When the situation demands a strike, you do not hesitate. You do not apologize. You let your optics cover the fallout. The halo you've built will distract the witnesses. The public will look at your success and call it destiny. They will look at your power and call it justice, because you gave them the narrative they were desperate to believe. Keep your smile fixed, keep your tone warm, but never forget the mask is for them, the blade is for you. Incompetence has a specific sound. It's the sound of a lingering argument. Most people handle conflict like an amateur surgeon, hacking away slowly, hoping the patient doesn't notice the pain. They check in, they send passive-aggressive emails, they try to win a debate over weeks of attrition. They think they're being kind by being slow. They are wrong. They are being dangerous. Rule 3. Injuries should be inflicted all at once. If you must strike a rival, remove a subordinate, or dismantle a competitor's reputation, you do it with a single devastating blow. Why? Because human nature has a short memory for sudden shocks, but an infinite capacity for resentment toward a slow burn. When you drag out a conflict, you allow your target time to recruit allies, to build a counter-narrative, and to cultivate a deep, burning hatred for you. A strike that lasts months is a war. A strike that lasts seconds is a restructuring. Evidence: every half-hearted confrontation is a stain on your optics. Look at the hierarchy. The people at the top do not feud. They delete. They don't engage in Twitter wars. They pull the funding. They don't argue with employees. They change the locks. By the time the victim realizes the game has started, the game is already over. Machiavelli called this the economy of cruelty. It's the art of being bad only once so you can be good for the rest of the year. If you distribute your toughness in small doses, you are seen as a bully. If you deliver it in one concentrated dose, you are seen as a force of nature. Think about your current obstacles. Who is draining your energy? What situation is lingering in your life? You think you're being patient. I'm telling you that you're being a victim. You are giving your enemy the leverage of time. Rule 4. Benefits, on the other hand, should be handed out like a slow drip IV. If you give someone everything they want today, they will be grateful for 5 minutes and entitled for a lifetime. To maintain dominance, you must be the source of their slow, steady relief. Small favors, incremental raises, occasional praise. This keeps them looking towards you, waiting for the next drop. It creates a cycle of dependency that feels like loyalty. The architect doesn't seek to be liked. Being liked is a fluctuating metric. The architect seeks to be a necessity. You become a necessity by being the one who ended the pain quickly and the one who provides the pleasure slowly. Don't be a nice person who is occasionally cruel. That is the mark of an amateur. Be a powerful person who is strategically merciful. Decide where the strike needs to land, then stop talking. Just swing.
In 2026, privacy is a luxury, but opacity is a weapon. Most people are desperate to be known. They broadcast their breakfast, their heartbreaks, and their 5-year plans to anyone with a screen. They think they are building a brand. In reality, they are building a map for their own destruction. They are handing their enemies the exact coordinates of their vulnerabilities. Rule 5. Never let them see the floor of your mind. If people know what you want, they can withhold it. If they know what you fear, they can threaten it. If they know your next move, they can block it. To be powerful is to be a mystery. You must cultivate an aura of strategic silence. When you speak, speak in results, not in intentions. Let the world see the skyscraper. Never let them see the blueprints. In the digital age, transparency is the death of leverage. If the algorithm can predict you, so can your competition. Rule 6. Build a fortress of perception. Machiavelli observed that a leader who is feared but not hated is invincible. In a modern context, this means you must be respected for your competence but kept at a distance. You are not one of the team. You are the one who makes the team possible. The moment you become relatable, you lose your edge. Familiarity breeds contempt, or worse, it breeds the belief that you are equal. And in a hierarchy, equality is a myth that only serves the person at the bottom. Look at the elite. They don't explain their decisions. They don't justify their wealth. They don't apologize for their silence. They allow the vacuum of information to be filled by the viewer's own imagination. People will naturally project their own fears and awe onto a silent figure. Use that. Let their minds do the work of making you more powerful than you actually are. Stop over-explaining. Stop checking in to make sure everyone is okay with your decisions. Every time you justify yourself, you are handing over a piece of your sovereignty. You are asking for permission to lead. The architect doesn't ask for permission. The architect sets the parameters and watches the others adapt. Go through your social feeds. Look at your conversations. Where are you leaking information? Where are you being authentic just to feel accepted? That is not authenticity. It is a security breach. Close the gates. Shrink your inner circle until it's a dot. The less they know, the more they wonder. And the more they wonder, the more they worry. That worry is the beginning of your dominance. Gratitude is a volatile substance. It has a half-life of about 48 hours.
Most people think that by doing someone a massive favor, they've bought a lifelong ally. They are wrong. They've bought a debtor who secretly resents them for the weight of the obligation. In the high-stakes game of 2026, people don't want to owe you. They want to need you. Rule 7. Keep people dependent on you, but never let them be satisfied. Machiavelli knew that a person who is full is a person who is useless. If you solve all of a subordinate's problems, they no longer have a reason to look at you. If you give a partner everything they want, they begin to look for what they're missing elsewhere. Dominance is not about being a provider, it is about being the only provider. You must become the bottleneck, the person through whom all resources, approvals, or information must flow. Rule 8. The breadcrumb strategy. In 2026, attention is the most scarce resource. If you want loyalty, do not give it away in bulk. Give it in fragments. A small recognition here, a hint of a future opportunity there. Keep them in a perpetual state of almost. The human brain is hardwired for the variable reward, the same mechanism that keeps people scrolling through feeds for hours. When the reward is certain, the motivation dies. When the reward is possible but not guaranteed, you own their focus. You become the architect of their hope. Look at your relationships. If people can walk away from you without losing anything, you have no power. You are a luxury, not a necessity. You must weave yourself into the fabric of their survival. Make your skills so specialized, your connections so exclusive, or your optics so formidable that leaving you feels like a step toward their own irrelevance. It sounds cold. It is. But would you rather be the nice person people step over on their way to something better, or the pillar they have to cling to just to stay upright? The world is full of helpers who are forgotten the moment the help is received. Do not be a helper. Be a foundation. Let them lean on you. Let them trust you, but never let them stand on their own 2 feet while you are in the room. The moment they feel they can survive without you, your dominance ends. Keep the hunger alive.
Most people believe that to be a leader, you must be a lion. They think power is about roaring the loudest, demanding respect, and crushing opposition with brute force. They are half right, and being half right in this game is a fast way to get hunted. Rule 9. You must be a fox to recognize the traps and a lion to frighten the wolves. In 2026, the wolves aren't just your competitors. They are the algorithms, the cancel culture mobs, and the invisible gatekeepers of influence. If you are only a lion, all ego and aggression, you will walk straight into a snare designed to turn your strength against you. You will be cancelled before you can even strike. Your bluntness will be your blindfold. The master strategist knows when to switch skins. When you are navigating a negotiation, you are the fox. You are observant. You look for the subtext in an email. You listen for what your opponent doesn't say. You play the long game, planting seeds of doubt and creating optics that lead your enemies into a dead end of their own making. Cunning is the ability to win a war without ever appearing to be at war. But when the trap is sprung and the enemy is exposed, that is when you become the lion. You do not negotiate with a cornered rat. You do not offer feedback to a traitor. You strike with a finality that leaves no room for a sequel. The mistake most people make is being a lion at the wrong time, usually when they feel insecure, and a fox when they should be decisive. They are sneaky with their friends and loud with their bosses. It should be the opposite. Look at how you handle pressure. Do you get defensive and loud? That is a lion's roar coming from a place of weakness. Do you hide and hope the problem goes away? That is a fox who has forgotten they have teeth.
In 2026, dominance belongs to the person who can simulate a lion for the public while operating with the precision of a fox in private. You must be able to navigate the complex social landscape of inclusivity and ethics while maintaining the absolute iron will to protect your interests. Don't just be strong, be smart enough to know when strength is a liability. Don't just be smart, be strong enough to execute what your intelligence discovers. The world is a maze of mirrors. The fox finds the exit. The lion owns the ground outside. A friend is a variable you cannot control. They know your secrets, they expect your time, and eventually they become resentful of your ascent. But an enemy is a gift. Rule 10. A visible enemy is more useful than a secret friend. In the digital landscape of 2026, identity is defined by opposition. People don't follow you because of who you are. They follow you because of who you are against. Without a shadow, there is no light. Without a rival, your optics have no contrast. Machiavelli understood that a wise prince should carefully foster some animosity. Why? Because when you overcome a known adversary, your stature doesn't just grow, it solidifies. Every strike they take at you is a chance for you to demonstrate your resilience. Every attack is a stage for you to perform your dominance. If you don't have an enemy, you must manufacture one. Look at the most successful figures of our era. They don't just have fans, they have haters, and they use those haters as fuel. They point to the gatekeepers, the elites, or the competition to justify their own aggressive maneuvers. An enemy provides you with a permanent common threat to keep your team unified and your followers loyal. If you are liked by everyone, you are a non-entity. You are a gray blur in a world of high-definition conflict. To be powerful is to be polarizing. You must be the hero in your story and the villain in theirs. The danger of the secret friend is that their betrayal always catches you off guard, but you always know where your enemy stands. You know their motivations. You know their targets. They are predictable in a way a friend can never be. Stop trying to bridge the gap. Stop trying to win them over. The moment you turn an enemy into a friend, you lose the leverage of the struggle. You lose the narrative arc of the conqueror. Instead, keep them at just the right distance. Use their criticism to sharpen your message. Use their failures to highlight your competence. A strategist doesn't seek peace. A strategist seeks a productive war. Ask yourself, who is your antagonist? If you don't have one, you are drifting. You are a ship without a current. Find the force that opposes your vision, and instead of avoiding it, lean into it. Let the world see the friction. Let the sparks draw the crowd. In 2026, peace is for the retired. Power is for those who know how to dance with the fire of their opposition. Don't just delete the negative comments. Don't hide the rivalry. Architect it. Use the enemy to build your monument.
In 2026, everyone is available. They are a ping away, a direct message away, a notification away. They think by being present, they are being relevant. They are wrong. They are being devalued. Rule 11. Use absence to increase respect and honor. In economics, value is determined by scarcity. The same law applies to the human spirit. If you are always there, always responding to the group chat, always attending the meeting, always available for a quick call, you become a commodity. You are the heir, necessary perhaps, but entirely taken for granted. The architect understands that their presence is a limited edition asset. If you want to be treated like a king, you must occasionally disappear.
Machiavelli observed that a prince who is too familiar with his subjects loses his aura of majesty. In the modern world, this means you must master the shadow effect. Withdraw your presence precisely when it is most desired. Stop posting for a week. Leave the meeting 5 minutes early. Decline the optional social event. When you vanish, you create a vacuum, and the human mind hates a vacuum. They will fill that space with questions. Where is he? What is he planning? Is he working on something I don't know about? By doing nothing, you have forced them to spend their mental energy on you. You have captured their attention through your silence. Look at your screen. How many people expect an immediate reply from you? Every time you rush to answer, you are training them to believe your time is worth less than theirs. You are signaling that you are at their beck and call. Dominance is the ability to set the tempo of the interaction. You respond on your schedule, not theirs. You appear when it serves your strategy, and you vanish when you've achieved your objective. The most powerful person in the room is the one who is least afraid to leave it. This isn't about being busy. Amateurs are busy. Strategists are selective. When you are absent, your reputation grows. People begin to speak of you in your absence, and that is where your real power lives, in the stories they tell themselves about you when you aren't there to correct them. Withdraw. Let the hunger grow. Let them realize that your presence is not a right, but a privilege you grant at your own discretion. Success is a temporary state. Dominance is a permanent structure. Most people reach a goal and then relax. They win a promotion, sign a contract, or gain a following, and then they breathe. That breath is the moment their downfall begins. In the landscape of 2026, if you are not actively reinforcing your walls, the algorithm is already looking for your replacement. Rule 12. Occupy the new normal. In economics, value is determined by scarcity. The same law applies to the human spirit. If you are always there, always responding to the group chat, always attending the meeting, always available for a quick call, you become a commodity. You are the heir, necessary perhaps, but entirely taken for granted. The architect understands that their presence is a limited edition asset. You don't want to be the best at the game. You want to be the one who defines how the game is scored. Rule 13. Trust no one but your own interest. This is the hardest law for the good person to swallow. We are social animals. We want to believe in loyalty. But in the architecture of power, loyalty is merely a calculation of current value versus future risk. The people who helped you get to the top are often the most dangerous once you arrive. They know your climb. They know your secrets. They feel they are entitled to a piece of your crown. Machiavelli was clear. A wise leader never relies on the goodwill of others. You rely on their self-interest. You ensure that as long as you are successful, they are successful. The moment their self-interest aligns with your destruction, they will turn. Do not be angry when it happens. Be prepared. Look at your circle. Who is there because they believe in you, and who is there because they are eating at your table? The architect keeps the table full, but the door locked. You provide the value that makes their betrayal too expensive to consider. That is the only loyalty that exists in the high-stakes world of 2026. If they can't afford to lose you, they can't afford to cross you. You have built the optics. You have used the fox and the lion. You have managed scarcity and weaponized your enemies. Now you must secure the perimeter. Review your contracts. Audit your digital trail. Ensure that every friend you have is tied to you by a string of mutual benefit that only you control. Finality isn't about ending the struggle. It's about reaching a position where the struggle happens on your terms, in your house, according to your rules. The sun is coming up. The world is about to wake up and return to the script they were handed. They will chase likes, they will seek fairness, and they will wonder why they feel so heavy. But you've seen the blueprints. Everything you've been told about power was a lie designed to keep you manageable. They told you to be humble so they could step over you. They told you to be transparent so they could predict you. They told you to be good so they could define what good means. Machiavelli didn't write for the saints, he wrote for the survivors. In 2026, the only morality that matters is whether you have the agency to protect what is yours. Look at the coins on your desk. Look at the data on your screen. This isn't a game of chance. It's a game of chess played in a house of mirrors. You now have the fox's eyes and the lion's heart. You know when to strike, when to vanish, and when to let the mask of virtue do the work for you. Go back out there, play the part, smile, be kind, be helpful, but never, ever go back to sleep. The strings are in your hands now. Don't just watch the game, own the board. This is the only warning you'll get. The world doesn't belong to the loudest. It belongs to the architect. Now, go to work.